I'd like to say I'm happy to be back and thank you for all your prayers. Never had people pray for me in 31 years of being a priest the way I was prayed over and prayed for the last 5 weeks. And I felt the impact of the prayer. I went home safe and I came back safe. Someone said, there is no bullet sign on your body. Is there any hole in your body? I said, no. I said, was there any close call? I said, no. I wasn't foolish. There were times I was tempted to be foolish, but I knew that I had people here who were praying for me and hoping that I make wise choices. And I had people who messaged me every week, you won't believe it, and they were asking me where I was. So if I chose to be foolish, then I have to lie, right? So I decided not to be foolish. And that meant not saying some people, but that was okay. It's better to be safe than sorry. So thank you for your prayers. Good to be home. The first sign that showed me that I was home was that I went to bed the first day of morning that I got back, only to wake up at noon and discover that I left my door open. I couldn't do that where I went to. It's just a sign that I feel at peace and secure. You have no idea what you have. No idea. And you will never get that idea. It's like trying to explain to somebody in my country how cold it gets here. They will never understand. You cannot understand what it means to live in that part of the world. And I pray you never get to understand it. So thank God for what we have. I want to tell a story today. I love telling stories, as you know. No, not this one. Next slide, please. Not this one. Okay, next slide, please. And I want to tell a story of, next slide. There are slides in it. No, there's more in that. Yeah, that's why I like to use my clicker. It's easier than asking someone to do it. I want to tell the story of a 3-year-old boy called Mason. Any Mason in the church this morning? Anyone that goes by the name Mason? Where? I hear a sound. No? Okay, good. So I can talk about Mason. Mason is 3-year-old, raised by a single mom and an only child. Okay. The priest doesn't lie. Braden. I made the slides, so I know how many slides there are in it, right? Okay. Yeah. Story of Mason, and who lived with his mom, a single mom, an only child. Mason was 3 years old, and like most boys that age, super hyperactive. This was summer, and Mason was playing in the yard. Mom was in the kitchen busy doing stuff. But like moms will do, she made sure she positioned herself in the kitchen that she could still see what Mason was doing in the yard. Mason was playing with a balloon, and you know what they do? They just punch it, and then it goes up, it keeps flying, and then they enjoy it. Poor boy. He kept pushing it. And he didn't realize when the balloon had left the yard and was on the street. He kept playing. But there's something that God put into mothers, and it must be a gift from God. They have the ability to tell when their kids are in danger. Those of you who are moms, you agree with me. So as the mom was busy doing her stuff in the kitchen, something told her that all is not well. She raised her head, looked at the yard, didn't see her son. Something said, look the opposite direction. And as she was looking towards the street, she heard a scratching sound of a tire, a car coming to a halt because it was going to run into someone. She jumped out with the last energy that was in her, dashed into the street, grabbed her son. She didn't even care if the car was going to run over her. Grabbed her son, and she brought him into the house. And as she was bringing him into the house, Mason could hear her mom's heartbeat, and mom could hear Mason's heartbeat. And she held on to Mason. He was crying. He was scared. And she kept saying, "It's okay. It's okay. You are safe now. It's okay." She kept reassuring him until his temperature came down and he felt safe. And then mom said to ask Mason, she said, "Is there anything that we need to learn from this?" Smart mom. And Mason said, "Yes, mom." And she said, "What?" That Mason is not to go to the street because the roads are dangerous. And mom said, "Smart kid, yes. So do you promise me?" And they did a high five. And Mason said, "Mom, I promise you." Well, you know how it goes, right? I promise you. A few weeks after, this time it was a soccer ball. Mason was playing in the field, in the yard. Mom was in the same position. And he was doing his own thing. And you know how these balls are. You kick it, it goes its own direction. Finally found its way again on the road, on the street. Mason forgot. All he wanted was his ball. He ran after the ball. Again, something told mom that something is wrong. She looked towards the yard. Mason wasn't there. She looked the opposite direction. She saw the ball, but she didn't see her son. And when she saw the ball, she knew for real that Mason must be on the road. She dashed out. And she yelled at him. This time there was no vehicle, right? And she went, grabbed Mason, but Mason still wanted the ball. And then she went and got the ball. She brought him in and she said, "What did you promise, Mom?" And the next thing is, because he was so embarrassed and ashamed of himself, he took off. And after a few minutes, Mom said, "The house is quiet. Where is he?" And she kept calling, "Mason, where are you?" There was no answer. "Where are you?" And then she became worried. Something is wrong here. She looked everywhere, under the bed, all the rooms. Mason wasn't there. Mom was really worried at this time. And she kept calling, "Mason, where are you?" Silence. And she kept checking everywhere. And something said to her, "Go to the most unlikely place you would not go to." And where was that? He wasn't in the basement. He was locked up in the closet, hiding. Mom opened the closet and she saw Mason full of fear. And she brought him out. And she asked him the question, "Why did you not answer when I called you?" And Mason looked at Mom and said, "Because I know you're mad at me." I'll repeat that, because what I want to preach about this morning is about that response of Mason. I know you are mad at me. Can any of you recognize a similar situation that happened in the Bible? It's in Genesis. Where are you? Anyone? Genesis. Can anyone? Any hand? Yes, Bev. Adam. Exactly. Adam. Genesis chapter 3, verse 9. After they ate the fruit, God came exactly like Mason to look for his friends, and they were hiding in the closet. And God said to Adam, "Where are you?" There was silence. "Where are you?" There was silence. And finally, God found Adam and Eve hiding with leaves covering their faces. Why are you hiding? Folks, we all hide, including me. We all hide. And just in case you want to challenge me on this point and say, "No, not me, I'm different, I don't hide. No, I never hide," let me prove you wrong. Do you have any addiction? Are you obsessed with anything, even if it's OCD? Why do you think we have addiction? What is the root of any addiction? Is the running away from something we don't want to see. And so we hide. We medicate that thing because we don't want to have that feeling. We medicate it with something else. And that thing is called addiction. Do you struggle with alcohol? Why do you think you struggle with alcohol? It's because you want to drink and forget about your sorrows. You struggle with pornography or sex? Why do you think you have that struggle? It's because you are medicating something. You struggle with gossiping and tearing people down. Why do you think you struggle with that? Because when you talk about others, then you don't remember who you are. Any kind of addiction you can think of in this world, the root of it is because addiction is a medication. You're medicating something that is painful. That's why we do it. We all hide. How many minutes did you spend before the mirror today before coming out? Because you want to look good. And I will talk about that. We all hide. We all hide. Why do we hide? That's the question. And I'll tell you this morning why. And just so you know, the whole of Lent, this is what I'll be talking about. Why we hide. The habits that makes us hide in the closet. Why do we hide? This is the reason why we hide. We hide because the world tells us a lie. A very big lie. And what is that lie? That you can trust me. You can trust me with your secrets. You can trust me. I will never judge you. You can trust me. And as soon as you trust them and you tell them about yourself, guess what you get? Condemnation. Is the story of the world, is the way of the world, even when you're talking to me, even as your priest. And you're telling me things you've done, I'll be so nice. I'll hide my feelings to make it look like, oh, that's okay. God is very merciful. But what do you think I'm doing in my heart? I'm judging you. That's even a priest. And don't get me wrong, it's not the world that does it. We're part of the world. We all do it. We do it to each other. It's a mean world. We live in a world where it doesn't matter how you look, we're always looking for what is not complete in you. That's the way we function. That's why I hate feedbacks. Because feedback forces you to look at what is not there. And you don't appreciate all the good things that are in there. You got 10 things, and someone brings 9 out of 10. What do? You focus on the one that is not there. It's the way of the world. And what has that done? It's increased our anxiety. Because we just have this feeling that if I'm not perfect, I'm going to be judged. And we are not. Now, the danger in that is we learn to hide. Do you blame us? I'm going to hide if I know you're going to judge me. Even as a priest, I hide all the time because I know you're going to judge me. You expect me to be perfect when you are not. I expect you to be perfect when I'm not. It's unfortunate, but that's the way of the world, and it's sad. So when we learn how to hide, we become Pharisees, actors on the stage. And it becomes our way of our second nature, our character. And the danger in that is when we also come to God, what are we doing? We're hiding. Even to God, we're hiding. And I give you examples. Why is it that you don't have the relationship you should have with God? Because you're running away. Because you're running away. I'm going to tell you this Wednesday, we have to come to church the second time. Guess the first feeling you get again? You'd rather be on your phone on Wednesday browsing than be in church. Why are you running away from Him? Because you're hiding. Why is church so painful to come to? Because we feel God is going to judge us. We're not perfect. But can I tell you the honest truth? Vulnerability doesn't scare God. It draws God to you. You can hide from me, the priest. Please don't hide from God. He knows you're not perfect, and He loves you the way you are. When God asked Adam in Genesis 3:19, where are you? He wasn't asking Adam a question of location, like, I can't find you, where are you? Next slide, please. What was God asking Adam? He was saying to Adam, I miss you. I choose you over and over again. You're my best friend. I miss my time with you. I just love you the way you are. That was why he was looking for Adam. And then the other reason why he was looking for Adam is God knows that if he lets us out of his sight, something is going to happen. What is that? We'll be drawn into the hands of the enemy, arm's way. And what does the enemy do? He breaks us down and he turns us into damaged goods. Tell me a mother who is in this church listening to me right now, who will befriend someone that cuts their child all the time and puts them down. Someone always talks down your child, that person can never, ever be your friend. Even if it's your sibling, even if it's your mother, you're going to pick a battle with that person because my child comes first. This is how God feels. What does the devil do? He cuts you down. He destroys you. He makes you question who you are. He tells you you're not good enough. No matter how much you try, he keeps telling you you've not tried enough. You've not tried enough. If you keep trying, I will love you. But he never does. He doesn't have the ability to love. And God knows that if he lets us out of his sight, the devil is going to get a hold of us. Is that not the story of our lives? And when he gets a hold of us, what happens? We become agents of addiction. We replace one addiction with the other. We're trying to deal with one addiction, we'll replace it with another addiction. And we're from one addiction to another addiction to another addiction. And the devil is just smiling because he got us where he wants us to be. How do you think God feels? Like a mother. He's sad. And so this Lent, folks, I'm going to take you on a journey of 6 weeks where we'll be reflecting on the habits that keeps us in the closet. We will see how vulnerability doesn't scare God. And it's not the end of a story. And there are examples. There was a woman who was so vulnerable before God, before Jesus, she was caught in adultery. That's the worst situation you can ever be caught in. But it wasn't the end of her story. What did Jesus say to her? Go, neither do I condemn you. He never condemns. Only the devil does. Does he condone sin? No, he doesn't. But he doesn't condemn. There's a difference. He doesn't condone sin, and he helps you to overcome sin, but he doesn't condemn. There's a difference. Look at the leper. Jesus touched him, even when he shouldn't. Look at the woman at the well. She came to fetch water at a time when she was avoiding everyone because society judged her. She's had 7 husbands. She's failed at life. And even when the disciples came and saw Jesus talking to her, what? Are you out of your mind? But that was Jesus' best friend. He came for people like that. And I am like that. This Lent, please come with me on this journey where we'll finally let Jesus into the closet. We'll just open the closet and then he comes in. I will record. This homily today is recorded. Ash Wednesday is going to be recorded. So I'll be recording all the homilies so that you can follow through. And I'll also be sharing on the rescue project because some people are taking it. So it's going to be a wonderful time. And to help us to supplement what we'll be teaching on Sunday, next slide please, we also have our Lenten practices for this year like we always do. So this year, instead of having adoration on Tuesdays from morning till 4 o'clock, we switched it this time because there were complaints about people going to work and they can't spend time with Jesus. So adoration on Tuesdays will be from 4 to 10 p.m. And I'll be hearing confessions every Tuesday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So you come back from work, have your supper, get a little nap, and you can still come and spend time with Jesus. There are sign-up sheets for those who would like to sign up, but even if you don't sign up, you're welcome to come. Our weekly fast on Fridays, I'll challenge you to fast from food. It doesn't kill. I keep telling you, if fasting from food kills, I won't be standing here. In Africa, we fast from food out of necessity, and we're not dead. It doesn't kill. The devil just puts that in our head and gets us addicted to comfort. The comfort that does not allow God into our lives. So every Friday I'll be challenging you to please fast. Why do we fast? So that we can get off the comfort that keeps us away from God and have a craving for Jesus. And then we'll have Stations of the Cross every Friday. Every year, there are groups of people that always come to these Stations of the Cross. I hope more people will come. What Stations of the Cross about? It's journeying with Jesus. We have a feel of what he went through. We don't just wait to celebrate Easter. When you didn't go through the Good Friday, it doesn't make sense, right? So, Stations of the Cross, 6:40 every Friday. You're welcome, and there's Mass after that. Then there is daily Mass. What a wonderful time during Lent to even choose a Lenten penance to say, I'm not going to miss Mass every day of the week. Wow. Because the graces you receive every time you come to Mass. And then, the biggest one. Remember last year we had 24-hour adoration from 5 p.m. to the next day? Due to popular demand, we're having it again this year. We'll let you know the date. Jesus is going to be here. Oh, remember last year, 3 a.m. This church was packed. Beautiful. Why do we need to spend time with Jesus? So that when we have Jesus, the devil can't be around. He can't be around. And on top of this, I'll be hearing confessions on Tuesday. I already said that. I'll be hearing confessions on Thursdays during adoration from 6 to 6:45. I'll be hearing confessions on Saturday from 4:15 to 4:45. And I'll be hearing confessions on Sunday from 10:30 to 9:50. Tell me what excuse you have not to go to confession this Lent. What excuse? But I tell you the excuse. The devil is going to tell you it's not worth it. Are you going to choose to listen to him? Or you try something different this Lent? Please come with me on this journey. And this journey is not just about ourselves. This journey is also about others. We're not only going to open the closet and let Jesus in, but we want to also help others who have locked themselves into the closet and feel they are undeserving of God's love. We call them the poor. The church calls it option for the poor. And I want to touch about that briefly. It's one of the pillars of the social justice of what the church teaches us. There are people who just feel that because of where they belong in society, they don't deserve God's love. So as we open the closet for ourselves, we also learn to open the closets to these people. Not so that and how do we do that? We no longer see them as a problem to be fixed, but we see them as icons of Christ. Because when we love the poor, we do what Jesus does. He loves everyone, including the poor. I'd like you to reflect on the next slide. And I know some of you at the back can't read this, but I'm just going to read it to you. Beautiful. It says, when shame whispers that we must hide, God works towards us, calling us out of the shadows. We retreat because we fear being seen, but God searches because we're already loved. Vulnerability isn't about confessing failure. It is about allowing ourselves to be found. The devil is going to use shame and you will run away. But just know that that's not a tool of God. Even as you run, he runs after you. Let yourselves be found this Lent. Shall we bow our heads in prayer? Lord God, you are the one who searches for us long before we think to search for you. In this holy season of Lent, draw us out of our hiding places. Draw us out of fear, out of shame, out of self-protection, into the safety of your embrace. Open our eyes to the poor and vulnerable around us. Give us hearts that do not look away, feet willing to draw near, and hands ready to lift and to love. Teach us to see others as you see them, and to receive your mercy with the same openness we offer it to others. May this coming Lent, Lord, be a time for homecoming for our hearts. Give us the courage this Lent to open the closets and let you in. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end.